Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Astral Tourist. So I had a trippy thing happen to me today. I was looking through different past episodes that I've done that had been removed for sound quality or because I made weird mistakes and stuff as I was learning. And as I was going through my hard drives, I found an experience on Mars from back in 2020 that I had somehow forgotten all about. And this is why we journal. I had not ever made a video about it or a podcast. I had just got it down. And so I'm bringing it back today. I'm bringing it to life for all of you. So, welcome to Mars Soma. Part one is the lunar portal and the future Mars. This is from June 7th, 2020 is when I had the experience. And I'm recording it now, November 27th, 2024. So, explorers, dreamers, and cosmic travelers, welcome to today's journey where reality gets a little wobbly and the astral realms stretch beyond what we think we know. Buckle up because this one's a ride from a dream through a moonlit portal all the way to Mars. But not the Mars we know. Oh no. This is a Mars you've never seen before. I know I surely hadn't. So picture this. You're in a dream, well, more than a dream, like a lucid dream. And, it's that magical state where you know you're dreaming and you can control what happens next. For me, that's where this journey began. I was in a room, kind of like a dream house. There was a huge glowing moon outside the window, and this thing was massive, the kind of moon that fills up the whole sky. And it wasn't just any moon. Something about it was very familiar. I didn't quite know why, but I felt pulled towards it, like it was calling me to step through it. It almost felt like a signal. And at first I thought, hey, this moon looks like one of Chakotay's symbols from Star Trek Voyager. For you Voyager fans out there, yeah, I totally got Chakotay's moon. Seriously. But then I realized, wait, this isn't just a symbol from some TV show. It was something more, a sign from deep within my own subconscious, urging me to take a leap, to leave the ordinary world behind and go beyond. I've had this symbol before in my dreams, and when it appears, it means it is time to astral project. So I started to get that feeling, the kind you get when you know it's about to happen. And then out of nowhere, I heard it clear as day, a message. I am more than my physical body, totally from my subconscious. It rang out in my mind like a bell. I could feel it deep in my bones. It was a reminder of a truth that I knew. We are not just our physical form. We are vast. We are eternal. And with that thought, I remembered my usual mantra, remember to remember. I kept saying it louder each time until the fog in my mind cleared and I felt fully aware. And boom, just like that, I popped out of my physical body. The whole dream faded away. I was in a completely different world. I just phased there, like automatically this time. It was so fast. A world where the laws of physics don't quite work the same. I felt light, free, and infinite. I had all of the markers and signs of astral projecting. But there's also a little bit of a process. Like I did see momentarily the moon didn't just stay the same. It grew brighter, way brighter, almost like the size of Jupiter. Somewhere in there was like a surreal twist where it changed forms into something completely different. It became a small meteor at a certain point, and by small, I still mean, massive because it's a meteor with delicate flower engravings. And I remember thinking, okay, this is different, but really beautiful. As I got closer to that moon meteor with the flower engravings, a large window appeared. So this is a portal and a door to another realm. So perfect. Sometimes I ask for one, I didn't even have to ask this time. It was there. And I knew it was time to go. I flew straight towards it. And as I passed through the opening, I felt this rush of energy. I wasn't just flying, I was ascending, moving through layers of consciousness. It was like layers of an onion. I know Robert Bruce explained this in his book Astral Dynamics at some point. Um, and, it was like one by one, all the layers, I could like feel them as I was going up through. And I realized I was entering something bigger, timeless. I was leaving everything I'd carried in the dream before behind. That didn't matter anymore. I was shooting like straight up through dimensions, through these layers and layers of them. And on the other side, I was suddenly in a vast, larger building where there were thousands of people gathered. Like, this is a huge, huge astral hub, all looking through windows like they were watching something. So, of course, I'm super curious and super lucid now. I'm out there astral projecting around, and I wanted to know what they were watching. The sky, a huge swirling storm of violet and orange clouds. That's what it was. And there were lightning flashes, but they weren't like the typical kind. They were more like short, sharp bursts of light, kind of like little celestial pulses. And each one kind of looked like it was an electric shock to the soul. I could kind of feel it a little bit, but we were all in this building and maybe I was feeling the other people's excitement. And so, being who I am, I like to try and get proof. I started to ask where I was so I could know the name of the place. And, just casually, hey, which planet is this? Just telepathing around as anyone can tell me, where am I? And I got answers from a few of them about how they didn't know. Others, if I walked up to them and tried again, were just kind of shrugged or gave me a blank stare, like, what? And then one person finally said, Mars. And I'm like, Mars? No way. Because it didn't look like Mars. There were no like dusty red plains or, just the barren rocks. I mean, this place that we were looking out through the window at had a ton of life and energy and those pulsating lights and storms. It was completely different from, our Mars. Like, it had completely evolved and was developing an atmosphere. And the fun part is, right about then, I remembered I had actually intended to travel into the future during this astral projection, hoping it would help me to stay lucid longer and be able to be there longer. That's one of the trips for stretching out your astral projections. I have a helpful tips video about that. So yeah, I was even doing this back in 2020. So maybe this was Mars, I was thinking, but from a future where the planet wasn't a desolate wasteland. And here's where the more interesting part comes in. Maybe this was Mars Soma. Now, the word Soma is a bit of a mystery here. It came up during my conversation with someone I met here in this really busy place that I actually got a conversation going with. And I asked her about this place and just more about it and more about the name and or what it's like there, something, more descriptive. And she said that there's a language barrier happening, which I knew there usually is. Plus, the mind has to interpret what they're trying to convey as well. So not only do we have a language barrier, we have the mind that has to interpret. She thought about this for a while after telepathing with me about some things I don't remember anymore. And finally, she said, it's something like soma, like your word soma, Soma. She didn't seem entirely sure, but she thought it, fit best. So I was thinking about that. Mars Soma. And Soma, I'm thinking, does this mean that Mars is now like a cosmic health retreat? A place where energy just isn't about death or survival, but about thriving, vitality, spiritual nourishment. I mean, there was so much energy with the storms out there and so many people in this astral hub here. And so that's the vibe I got. Like, this is a happening place. This is not just Mars. This is Mars Soma, a place where the energy of the planet was being transformed and kind of terraformed, really. Maybe it already had been terraformed. I don't know. And the wisdom was being shared with me about this special place.